and share my screen. All right. Can everyone hear me okay? Laura, do you mind giving me a thumbs up if you can hear me and see my screen? Okay, perfect. So welcome everyone to another Workshop Wednesday. Today's topic will be surrounding the Cal State Apply application. And if you have any questions, feel free to just write them in the chat. And then Ms. Duran, do you mind just letting me know if there are any questions that come in, and then you can just let me know. Okay, perfect. And then you also have the option of just unmuting yourself and interrupting me and asking a question as we go along. So I will go ahead and get started. Oops, wrong date, sorry. Okay, this is a reminder that we host these workshops every Wednesday between 12 and 1 p.m. and you can sign up to attend in your Naviance account. Okay, so in today's workshop, we'll be covering the CSU application, and then we'll have time for Q&A at the end. And we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. So these are some things that you need in order to complete your application. So you'll need a copy of your unofficial high school transcript, and if you've taken any community college coursework as well, you'll need your community college transcript too. You'll need your social security number if you have one. It's helpful if you know your citizenship status. And if you'll be paying for these applications, you'll need a credit card or a PayPal account. You'll also need to know your parents' annual income. And most of you, if not all of you, are considered a dependent. So you will need your family's income. And then if you're an independent student, you'll just need your own income. But again, most of you are considered a dependent. And then you'll also need any relevant information for applying to the EOP program. And EOP, so you'll see this option within your Cal State application to apply for EOP. And EOP is basically designed for low income, first generation students who could really use the extra support in college to be successful. So if you apply for EOP and you're admitted into the EOP program at the Cal State that you're going to, you'll receive services such as financial aid, like one-on-one support. You might receive a mentor to really like help guide you through college, pre-admission counseling, orientation help, specialized tutoring, academic advisement. Sometimes EOP students receive scholarships, which is really great. And then personal, educational, and career counseling. So if you feel like this is a program that you would qualify for, I would say definitely apply. It's just a few questions, and then you do need to request 2 letters of recommendation, and 1 must be from an academic teacher. And the recommendation is not really a letter, it's more so like a set of questions that they'll send to your teacher and your other recommender, asking them about you as a student and why they feel like you could really benefit from the EOP program. There is something in your application and it'll ask you if you're interested in signing up for Cal Fresh or Cal Promise. And so students just typically are kind of confused and are not sure what these programs are. But if you select yes to the Cal Fresh question, basically they'll know that you might need help with receiving meal vouchers to access a food pantry on campus, and you need some extra financial assistance. And then Cal Promise is a program, it's an additional support program that helps students make sure that they're successful throughout their 4 years of college. Okay, so you'll receive or you'll get to a part in your application that asks about parent income. So it'll ask for your parents' adjusted gross income for 2019. And then right here it says like click here for more information. Depending on what type of taxes your parents filed, it'll actually tell you exactly where you can find this information on your parents' tax forms, which makes it really helpful. And then untaxed income, typically we receive the question of, what is untaxed income? And again, when you select click here, it gives you examples of what untaxed income can include, but it's typically things that maybe your parents did where they didn't need to report the information on taxes, like they just received cash or something like that. And so if your parents like worked for Lyft or Uber, that's typically like contract jobs where you don't have to report the income necessarily, or maybe your parent, babysits on the side and they receive extra money for that. Then that's where they would report that information. Okay, so in this section, it's going to ask you, what your degree goal is, and all of you should select that you're receiving your first bachelor's degree. You have not received a bachelor's degree yet, so you would not be able to select the second option where it says second bachelor's degree. And then if you have taken any community college courses, you'll want to say yes to the question, have you taken and earned college credits through a community college? So this is what the application looks like. There are 4 quadrants, and when you see a completed green circle in each of the quadrants, that's how you know that your application is complete and you're ready to submit it. These are some important things to know about reporting high school coursework. So the first one is you don't need to report non-A through G courses such as PE or health. You only need to report your A through G college coursework. And on your high school transcript, next to each class, you'll actually see a P next to each class that is considered a college coursework A through G class. So if it does not have a P next to it, that P stands for college prep, then that means you don't have to report the class on your application. And you'll typically see that for PE and for health, there's no P next to it. And then for the community college coursework section, you want to make sure that you're reporting all community college courses in this section. So even if the college class was taught on Mountain View's or Los Altos' campus, it doesn't matter. If it's a college class and it produces a college transcript, you'll want to make sure you put it in the college coursework section and not the high school section. And you don't want to put it in both places, okay? And then after that, you'll be able to access the A through G matching screen and assign yourself the appropriate A through G letter grade for each class that you've added. Okay, reporting repeated courses. So the Cal State Universities define repeated courses as taking the exact same course with the exact same course title taken at the same school or school district, but at a later time. So if you have completed, for example, a chemistry course and you failed it maybe second semester and you made up that second semester and you passed it with a B, you don't have to report that failing grade. You can report that second semester B grade if it was the exact same course, okay? So, and again, just to repeat that, this says if you repeated a course, you'll enter the highest grade earned for the course. If the repeated course is planned or in progress though, this is something else to note, you'll want to enter the original grade earned. So if this is the case, if you, for example, failed second semester chemistry last school year and you're now making it up this school year, you do have to report that failing grade because you haven't received a new grade to replace it yet. So in that case, you would report the failing grade, and then for this school year, you would say that the course is planned and in progress, or sorry, planned in progress and then planned for the spring.
Just to quickly interrupt, could you please, or I don't know if you're going to get to this a little bit later, but when a student's entering a course, how they indicate like an AP is an honors level course, will we get to that later?
Yeah, I can show, I'll go to my actual application and I'll show you what that looks like.
Yeah. Great. So there's a couple questions, but we can do that.
Okay. At the end. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so summer courses, retaking courses. So again, this is just that example I'm going back to. If you took a chemistry class and you passed it first semester with an A, but second semester you received a D, and then you made up that exact same second semester chemistry course maybe over the summer and you received a B, then you would just report your A grade and then your B grade. You would not have to report that D. But again, it has to be the exact same course. So even if it was like a chemistry course going to like a chem honors course, those are different. So you would have to report all of your grades. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you're adding a high school grade level. You'll select the grade level, the year, and then the name of your high school, and then you'll select that green check mark. And then this is something to note for middle school courses. So if you took 7th and 8th grade courses to fulfill A through G credit, you'll go ahead and actually just select the school year, and then you'll select Mountain View High School or Los Altos High School, and then you'll actually be able to select 8th or 7th grade in the drop-down menu. So you don't have to add your actual middle school name. You'll just assign it to Mountain View High School, but it will allow you to choose the grade level that you took the class. Okay, and then this is what it looks like when you're adding a high school course. You'll begin typing the course name here. You'll want to make sure that you do select the course that pops up from the drop-down menu, and you don't want to manually type in your courses. You can do that, and then you technically can just, you know, go in and assign the appropriate A through G letter grade, but it's just a lot better for the Cal States if you just select one of the drop-down options. Sometimes students can't find it right away, and that's because the courses that we have listed on our Mountain View and Los Altos High School transcript are abbreviations compared to what they have on the UC and CSU websites for like our high school courses. So what you can do if you're not finding a course right away is you can actually go to, it's just called UC CSU A through G course list. And you'll go here and then you'll type in your high school name. So for example, I'll do Mountain View High School. And then you'll find your high school and then you'll select course list. And then you'll see like AP American History on our transcript abbreviation, it is European HST AP, but you'll want to type out AP European History because that's what they have on their end, and then it'll pop up. You should be able to see it once you actually type in how it's spelled out on this website. Okay. And so I'll show you what it looks like when you're assigning your course, whether or not it's an AP course or an honors course or just a regular standard course. And then if the course is completed, you'll select the letter grades you received for the course during each term. You'll select in progress if you are currently taking the course, and then you'll select planned if you are planning to take the course for a future term. So for all of your senior year courses, for the fall, all of them should say in progress, and then in the spring, they should say planned, if it's a full year long course, okay? If you're only taking the course for one term, so for example, civics or econ, you would select no grade for the term which you will not earn a grade. So for example, if you take a course for one semester, one field would contain a grade or planned or in progress, and then no grade in the other field. So for example, let's go back to civics. If you're currently taking civics, you'll say in progress for the fall, and then for the spring, you'll say no grade if you're not planning on taking it in the spring. If you're taking civics in the spring and not in the fall, for the fall semester, you'll select no grade, and then in the spring, you'll say planned, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. And then you'll just select the green check mark to save the course. Okay, adding a summer grade level. So grade levels for summer courses should be reported as the grade you were going into after that summer. So for example, if you took a summer school course the summer after 9th grade, you would just attach it for 10th grade. Okay, and this is what it would look like. And you'll want to make sure that you click on the Add a Summer Grade Level button. This is what it'll look like when you've added community college courses. So again, it's important that you are using your unofficial community college transcript to actually find out what the course code name is, the exact course title, and it's the same thing. So once you've added the community college to your application, it will have an idea of what courses are offered at that school. And once you start typing in the course title or the course code, it'll pop up with some populated options. And it's a good idea to just select from that drop-down menu. And then on your transcript, it will tell you how many credits the course was worth, and then you'll report your grade. And then to tell if a course is transferable, if you just go to, for example, Foothill or De Anza's course list or their course catalog, it will tell you if each class is transferable to a UC and CSU. For the most part, most of you take, like from just my experience from working with students at Mountain View, most students take transferable courses, but you can double check on your college's websites. Okay, so checking your A through G totals. So on the A through G matching section, you'll see the guide of A through G subjects here on the left. And you'll want to check that you have met all A through G areas, and you'll do that by looking at your totals on the right-hand column under years. So your totals should be equal to or greater than the number of minimum years for that subject. So for example, if you have 4 years of history instead of 2, that's awesome. You just went above and beyond, but you do need a minimum of 2 years. So if you see that it says 1 year of history completed, that means that maybe you forgot to assign yourself an A through G letter to one of your courses that you added to your application. So you'll have to click on like edit A through G courses, and then it'll allow you to go through and look to see what letter you assigned for each course. And it could be the case that you just forgot to do it. So before moving on to the next section, just make sure that you have fulfilled all of the minimum years for each of the subject categories. And then for the laboratory science section, I just wanted to highlight this section, area D. It requires 1 year of a biological science and 1 year of a physical science. So there's 2 different sections that you have to assign a letter grade to, and it's D1 and D2. And then there are some interdisciplinary sciences that we offer that fulfill either D1 or D2. And they give you some examples here on the CSU application guide, and I can send that out to you all. But I also have this nice little handy document that I created, and it tells you where each course falls under. So if you're not sure, if you need help, just feel free to email me. I'll send this to Ms. Duran as well, and we can send this out to you, and you can use it as a guide to know what category you need to assign AP biology to, for example. All right, so these are some just additional helpful tips to keep in mind when going through your application. Senior year courses, so the first semester should be, again, it should be in progress. And then if it's a year-long course, for the second semester, you'll want to indicate that you're planning on taking it in the spring. Econ and civics is a bit weird. So you do have to enter these courses in separately. So when you go to the UC CSU A through G guide, you'll see that civics, for example, falls under history, but you'll notice that econ falls under the G category, which is a college preparatory, thank you, thanks. It's a college preparatory elective. So you do have to enter these courses under different sections, which is kind of weird. But the way you would do that is for the G category, if you're in econ now, again, you'll say in progress. And then for spring, you'll say no grade. And then for civics, you'll add it under the A category, and you'll say, so say you're planning on taking civics in the spring. In the fall, you'll say no grade, and then in the spring, you'll say planned. And then another common question that we get about the G category is, what if I don't have a full year? What if I only have economics that falls under the college preparatory elective? If you click on this question mark, it tells you what to do. So you actually have the option to choose any courses from A through F that are beyond those used to satisfy the requirements. So what that means is if you only have econ or you don't have anything under college preparatory elective, you haven't taken a complete year, you can pull from the other categories as long as you have already fulfilled that requirement. So for example, visual and performing arts, 1 year is required. And if you have 2 years of a visual and performing arts, then you can actually assign that second class or that second year under the G category. Hopefully that makes sense. And then let me go back to here. About that, I don't know. Oh, okay, cool. And then, okay, so then American Lit Survey is actually, this is an example of when if you type in exactly how the course is shown on the transcript, it won't populate. So if you try typing in American Lit Survey, it won't pop up, but if you type American Literature, it will pop up in the dropdown, and so you'll want to select that option. Same thing with AP Spanish Lit. If you type AP Spanish Lit, which is shown on our transcript, it won't populate, but if you type AP Spanish Literature and Culture, then it will show up. And then you can see the same thing for AP Spanish Language. You have to type out this whole entire course name for it to populate. And then some of you have taken a third-year Spanish course, but you haven't actually needed to take Spanish 1 and 2. You might have taken like Spanish 3 for Spanish speakers, and so you got to just right away get placed in a higher level Spanish course. So the way that you would report that is you would report the class as Spanish 3, report the grade that you received, and then you would add 2 additional rows and list 1 row as Spanish 1 and 1 row as Spanish 2, and you, for your grades, you would just put pass, just so that they know that you received the credit for it. And then this is just a reminder, Los Altos High School has a really awesome Instagram page. Feel free to follow them. That's their name. And again, we both have our Google websites for the College and Career Center, where we post scholarship opportunities, job opportunities. If you click on events, you'll see our calendar, which lists all of the college visits. It lists these workshop Wednesdays and other things that we have coming up in the near future. So feel free to check out our websites when you get a chance. And this is what's on the horizon. So next week will be the UC application, and then October 28th will be our financial aid application workshop. And now we've reached the Q&A portion of our workshop. I have my application up here. Oops. I'm going to stop recording.
Yep. Perfect.